In a world full of constant demands, finding balance between work and home life can seem like an impossible task. Whether it's managing tight deadlines, taking care of family, or simply finding time for yourself, many of us struggle with feeling overwhelmed. But what if ancient wisdom could help us manage this chaos? Buddha's teachings on mindfulness, detachment, and self-compassion offer practical solutions to help us set healthy boundaries, reduce stress, and live more balanced lives. In today's video, we'll dive into how you can apply Buddha's teachings to set boundaries at work and home to create the peace and harmony you deserve. Let's get started. The importance of boundaries in modern life. In the busy world we live in today, the concept of setting boundaries often feels like a foreign idea. We live in an era where multitasking and being constantly available have become the norm. The pressure to be productive all the time has resulted in an epidemic of burnout and stress, with people struggling to keep up with their work, family, and social lives. But boundaries are essential for maintaining balance and well-being. Setting boundaries allows us to take control of our lives and protect our mental, emotional, and physical health. Without boundaries, we risk overextending ourselves, neglecting our own needs, and feeling depleted. Buddha's teachings emphasize mindfulness and self-awareness, which are crucial in recognizing when we need to set boundaries. He reminds us to be conscious of our limits and not to engage in behaviors or activities that drain our energy. By creating clear boundaries, we're able to honor our own needs and protect our personal time and space. When we make boundaries a priority, we can create room for growth, peace, and more meaningful interactions with others. Boundaries help us respect our time, making sure we're not spreading ourselves too thin. Ultimately, they allow us to preserve our mental and emotional well-being, which is key to living a balanced and peaceful life. Buddha's teachings on non-attachment and boundaries. One of the most powerful principles in Buddhism is non-attachment. Buddha taught that our suffering often arises from our attachment to things, people, and outcomes. We attach ourselves to expectations and desires, believing that they will bring us happiness. However, these attachments can lead to stress, anxiety, and a lack of peace. Non-attachment teaches us to release the need for control and to stop tying our happiness to external circumstances. This principle directly applies to setting boundaries in our lives. We often overcommit ourselves because we are attached to the idea of being liked, accepted, or praised. We may feel guilty when we say no to others, fearing that we'll be judged or rejected. But Buddha's teachings encourage us to detach from this need for approval and external validation. When we are not attached to the outcomes or reactions of others, we are free to make choices based on our own well-being. Setting boundaries from a place of non-attachment means we can say no when we need to, without feeling guilty. It means prioritizing our peace and health over the opinions of others. By practicing non-attachment, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to please everyone, allowing us to live authentically and with integrity. Non-attachment is the key to maintaining healthy boundaries in both our personal and professional lives. Work-life balance and professional boundaries. Work-life balance is one of the most commonly discussed topics in today's fast-paced society. The demands of work, coupled with personal responsibilities, can leave little time for rest and self-care. Many people struggle to find time for themselves, their families, and their hobbies, all while managing a demanding career. Buddha's teachings offer a path toward balance through moderation and mindfulness. The middle path, one of the central tenets of Buddhism, teaches us to avoid extremes. It's about finding a balanced approach to work, without overworking ourselves or becoming complacent. In a professional setting, setting boundaries is about understanding when to say no and recognizing when our plate is full. It's about acknowledging that we cannot do everything and that it's okay to ask for help or delegate tasks. Setting clear work-life boundaries helps prevent burnout and stress. When we create these boundaries, we are not only protecting our time, but we're also enhancing our productivity. By focusing on tasks that align with our goals and values, we can work more efficiently without burning out. Additionally, by setting boundaries and creating space for personal time, we can recharge and return to work with renewed energy and focus. Buddha's teachings on mindfulness also encourage us to be present in whatever we're doing. Whether we're working or spending time with loved ones, being fully present in the moment allows us to experience more joy and satisfaction. Work-life balance, therefore, is not just about managing time, it's about being intentional and mindful in how we allocate our energy. The role of self-compassion in setting boundaries. Setting boundaries can be difficult, especially when we're used to prioritizing others' needs over our own. Many people feel guilty for saying no, believing that it makes them selfish or unkind. However, Buddha's teachings emphasize the importance of self-compassion, which is essential in setting boundaries. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we offer to others. When we practice self-compassion, we recognize that we, too, deserve care, respect, and time to recharge. Without self-compassion, we risk neglecting our own needs and overextending ourselves, which ultimately leads to burnout and resentment. Setting boundaries is an act of self-care, allowing us to honor our own needs and take care of our mental and emotional health. Buddha teaches that self-compassion is not selfish, it's necessary for creating a balanced and fulfilling life. When we prioritize self-compassion, we can give from a place of abundance rather than depletion. It's through self-compassion that we are able to set boundaries with kindness and respect, both for ourselves and for others. Setting boundaries at work. In the workplace, setting boundaries can be challenging, especially in environments that value productivity and long hours. However, it's essential to establish limits in order to maintain your well-being and prevent burnout. Buddha's teachings on mindfulness and moderation can guide us in setting boundaries at work. Mindfulness involves being aware of our energy levels and recognizing when we are becoming overwhelmed. It's about paying attention to our physical, mental, and emotional states and making adjustments when needed. Setting boundaries at work begins with self-awareness. It's important to understand our limits and communicate them effectively to colleagues and supervisors. This might involve saying no to additional tasks or setting clear expectations regarding work hours. By doing so, we create a space where we can be more productive without compromising our health. Buddha's teachings remind us that we are not defined by our work. Our worth is not tied to how many tasks we complete or how much we achieve. When we set clear boundaries, we acknowledge that our time and energy are valuable resources that must be protected. Setting boundaries at home. In addition to setting boundaries at work, it's equally important to establish boundaries in our personal lives. Home should be a place of rest and rejuvenation, but it can quickly become a source of stress if we don't respect our own boundaries. Setting boundaries at home involves communicating clearly with family members about your needs and making time for yourself. This may involve setting aside specific times for relaxation, hobbies, or self-care activities, and letting others know when you're unavailable. Buddha's teachings on detachment and mindfulness can be applied to family dynamics as well. Mindfulness helps us be present with our loved ones without becoming overwhelmed by their needs. Detachment allows us to release the pressure of trying to meet everyone's expectations. When we practice these teachings at home, we can create a peaceful environment where everyone's boundaries are respected. This promotes healthier relationships and ensures that we have the energy to show up fully for those we love. Setting boundaries is essential for achieving work-life balance and maintaining mental and emotional well-being. By applying Buddha's teachings on mindfulness, non-attachment, and self-compassion, we can create healthy boundaries that allow us to thrive in both our professional and personal lives. Remember, setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness, it's an act of self-care. It's about protecting your time, energy, and peace of mind so that you can be present for yourself and others. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to share it with those who might need it. Subscribe for more valuable insights, and take the first step towards setting boundaries that support a balanced, peaceful life. May you find harmony and joy as you implement these teachings in your life.